Hey guys, Wrestling Rambles 89 back again today with yet another reaction video. Today I'll be reacting to Stone Cold talking about why he quit chewing tobacco. Now I actually remember him chewing tobacco quite a lot even on WWE TV back in the day. And I know in some of his ranch times, like every ranch he's had, but especially the Broken Skull Ranch 1.0, then he was always talking about chewing tobacco. So I'm curious what made him finally quit. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's get started.
Hey, Steve, I read your book of Stone Cold Truth, which, by the way, is a great book. I read it.
Yep.
You at least used to do chewing tobacco, especially on the road. I've had that habit for a while now. My question is, do you still chew? And if not, what helped you quit?
Good question.
Hey, Josh, you're over in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I chewed tobacco. I started off chewing Levi Garrett and Red Man. And it was interesting back when I was in the USWA. Red Man Renegades, or whatever it's called, used to be one of our sponsors. So, man, we'd get cases of Red Man chewing tobacco free, and because they're one of the sponsors. And that
Always
certainly
temptation.
didn't hurt things at all because I wasn't making enough money really to buy any tobacco.
Makes sense.
I chewed chewing tobacco for probably 15, 20 years, and it started wearing the side of my mouth out, my gums. And, guys are dumb. They do stupid shit. Ride down the road with chewing tobacco in the side of your mouth where it makes, spit and tar and brown shit, and you spit it into a cup between your legs. And when you're making a spit cup, you always have some tissue at the bottom of that motherfucker, because if you do not put tissue in the bottom of that thing, you will inevitably, whether you're dipping Skoal, Copenhagen, chewing tobacco, whatever, you'll spill that shit wherever you're at on something very special to you or fuck something up. So, anyway, after I chewed Red Man and Levi Garrett and all that shit for a long time, started wearing my gums out, I said, man, I need to switch up here. I'd tried Skoal before but didn't like it. There's not as much spitting involved, and I just didn't understand why anybody would do it. So then I gave it a real try and kind of fell in love with it, and I chewed Skoal in Copenhagen for a long time, and Skoal had all them different flavors, and I guess my go-to flavor was spearmint. And during deer season, man, I'd wear my lip raw because me and my buddy Trey was hunting so much over in Cotulla and dipping all goddamn day, riding around trying to find some deer.
Yep.
My come to Jesus meeting with tobacco, probably after 25, 30 years of use, was 10, 11 years ago when my father was diagnosed with a stage 3 tumor on the back of his tongue, way in the back.
Damn.
And he had been complaining of these symptoms for quite some time. And them shitty doctors, not all doctors in Victoria, Texas are shitty, but the one that was looking at my dad wasn't worth a flying shit.
Ooh.
And my dad was complaining about this very intense pain, and the guy didn't stick a scope back there and get to the root of the problem. By the time it got diagnosed, it was a stage 3.
That's
and
awful.
If any of you people out there have had loved ones or yourself have gone through the C word, cancer, anytime that word comes up, it's scary. And I remember my dad got that
100%.
news. And my dad's a man's man. He's just a very quiet, unassuming guy, but he commands respect, and he gives respect when it's earned. And he raised our asses to know right from wrong. And I fucked up a lot of shit, and I've got my ass whooped by my father. But he taught me right from wrong. He taught me my work ethic and, to grow up being what a man's supposed to be. And I remember that diagnosis came in, and my mom gathered all of us up together, and we was all going to take a group picture in white cowboy shirts and blue jeans, and all of us was wearing the same thing. It was going to be a family picture, just in case. Who knows what might happen.
Oof.
My brother Scott couldn't be there. He was over in Malaysia, so his wife, or the photographer, took a picture of him, and they photoshopped him into the picture, and I still got that picture. And my dad's kind of got this little smile on his face, and he just got hit with that big word. We're all worried. There he is, weathering the storm. And long story short, we got his ass up to San Antonio with a great oncology team, a great ear, nose, and throat guy, and chemo and radiation. They were living with me at the time they went through that, and that process kicked my father's ass, and I never once heard that man complain, never. And it was at that time I still had all them skull cans laying around, and I said, hey, dude, my brother Scott, my older brother Scott, 2 years older than me, had already quit. And I looked at myself in the mirror like I have many times when I was going through some issues that I needed to address and straighten out. And I said, dude, you need to stop this bullshit, because if this ain't writing on the wall, if this ain't enough heads up, if this ain't the big enough come to Jesus meeting for you, you a stupid motherfucker.
Damn right.
So I stopped cold turkey. I just stopped. I didn't need no process. I didn't need no help. I didn't need nobody to tell me what to do, how to do it. I just stopped.
Best way.
For 3.5 days, I felt like a piece of shit. I would go to Gold's Gym there in Venice, California, and I'd walk into that gym, try to work out, and after 2 sets, it felt like 6 hours. I turned around and walked out of that gym, watching a second hand tick on a clock. 1 minute seemed like an hour.
I know
the days dragged by. The things that I normally did with a dip in my mouth, I didn't do anymore. Used to when I first got up in the morning, I put a dip of Skol in and have my first dip before I do anything, even before a cup of coffee. When I got to my ranch, put a dip in and ride around, spit out the door, spit out the window. That's what you do. And right before bed, have another dip. Many people who smoke do the same damn thing. I tell you what, that first 3.5 days was the most miserable days of my life. That tar and that nicotine in there is so addictive, and you want it so bad. But I didn't give it to myself. I quit.
Yeah,
and I tried some of that fake tobacco that doesn't have any tar and nicotine in it. And it's kind of like herbs or whatever. Herbs, however you say that word. And it ain't the same. Because you can go through the process. You can have some stuff in your lip to simulate it, but it's that tar and nicotine and that bullshit that you crave.
Yeah.
So, bottom line, long story short, that's why I quit 3.5 days. And that's probably been, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I know when I met my wife, I was dipping back in, and she didn't think much of the habit, but she put up with it. I know she's happier now. I tell you what, man, down the road, because I exposed myself to all that tobacco for so many years, hey, maybe I could get something, but I know I lessened my chances. And if you listen to my voice and never thought about quitting, now is about as good a time as any to lay off that dog shit. It ain't good for you.
Amen.
I know a lot of people out there think it looks cool. I thought it looked cool, too, when I did it. You roll out to L.A., there ain't too many people that dip out in L.A., and they look at you like a fucking idiot because they ain't never seen nothing like that stuffed in someone's lips for the most part. And when I first came to Los Angeles 10 years ago, I mean, it was hard to find. You can find it anywhere now. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so I quit, and that's why I quit. And I would recommend anybody that uses any kind of tobacco product, quit. I ain't preaching to you. I don't give a flying fuck if you keep on smoking your cigarettes, cigars, pipes, chewing Skol, Copenhagen Red Man. That's your business.
Yeah.
But ain't for me no more. Swig of beer for the working man. Let's go on to another question, man. I tell you that damn story, I kind of got a little emotional there. Sorry, that was a heavy-duty time, man. You hear that C word, it'll scare the flying shit out of you. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah, Austin is 100% correct. I'm not going to go too depressing or too personal here, but cancer is the worst thing in the world. Obligatory fuck cancer. I've lost a lot of people myself through it, and you could hear how sad Austin was, and I don't blame him one bit. It's just the worst fucking feeling in the world, whether it's yourself or someone you care about. And yeah, it doesn't get any easier to talk about, so I didn't want to dwell on that too much, but even hearing Austin getting upset, like audibly upset, it shows no matter how badass you are, it's still a terrible thing. And if that's the reason you want to quit like Stone Cold did, then more power to you, good for you. As Austin said, if you still want to keep smoking or chewing tobacco, it's none of my business, it's none of his business. Go ahead, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you live a long, healthy life. But I would strongly advise quitting, and this is no public service announcement bollocks, it's just my honest opinion at the end of a reaction. So yeah, anyway, it was an interesting story, certainly not the way I was expecting it to go. I hope you enjoyed and found it interesting. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an upload. I upload at least once every day, but usually more. This is Wrestling Rambles 89, signing off.